Probably the best passage of play I think we've seen so far. They got it because we had 4 or 5 restarts in a row. The umpire correctly pulled a free kick out that was here or there, but he's pulled one to clear the contest. Hawthorn linked up a few good handballs, came through Dillon up to Perkins, just was offline, but really good play by the Hawks.
A wobbly kick out of defence. Kelly, first to meet it for the Hawks. Over the football, and we'll have a ball up. So 1-8 the Hawks. 12 minutes gone. First term here on VFL.com.au and SEN2. Tap down Livingston again. Good work, Benici back into this lineup for her 7th game of the season. Hawks trying to push that ball forward. Good work by Benici. Strong tackle. And we'll have a ball up just on the 50-metre arc here at Box Hill City Oval. Final round of Swiss Wellness VFL Women's action today. If you've just tuned in, Collingwood needing to win to keep their home final chances alive. They've booked in a top 2 spot. And the Hawks in this clash, if they win, they're finals bound. They lose, they're waiting on the results of Geelong against Carlton later today and Melbourne Uni versus NT Thunder. So both those teams, you would think, go in as favourites. So the Hawks, just to ensure their own destiny, needing the win today. Lynch dispossessed. Great tackle on the outer side by the Hawks. Too high, I think the umpire will find. And we'll see a free kick going the way of the Magpies at half-back.
Pretty lucky to get away with that. Lynch fully dispossessed. Probably took on the tackler. Very lucky not to be awarded a free kick against. And then moments later, Collingwood winning a free kick. So they get out of jail a little bit as they rebound off half-back. Benici's got it. Outer side wing. Just kicks up long, looking for Shevlin. Sets up well under the wind and nearly took a good mark. But out with the ball's Hawthorn via Shaw. Her long kick up the wing, no good. Out of bounds and throw in. So back to where we started, and the last touch rule here means a free. Umpire's pointed.
No, off hands, I think. Yeah, off hands on the outer side.
Did look like the umpire had pointed for a free kick.
We should also mention good afternoon to our video stream audience who have had the vision but haven't had the audio. So apologies for that. We are back online with our audio on our video stream. So, yes, 1-8 plays Collingwood yet to score.
And here go Collingwood if they can get one out here from the bounce. A few handballs not meeting their target. Hawthorn now through Beeson. Goes forward inside 50. Ball spills free. Couple of players battling for it now on the ground. Benici has it for Collingwood again from half-back. Just goes long up the wing. Bit of a kick and hope. And another throw in. Beeson did well there from the Hawks to clear the centre clearance. Just get it forward. Ticked over 15 minutes now, and Hawthorn kicking with what is quite a strong breeze. It's a match-affecting breeze. They've actually only registered 1-2. They're not going to be stoked with that output for now, and if you're a Collingwood defender, you'd be pretty happy with that going into quarter time and having your chance to kick with the wind in the next. Hawthorn roll forward now, keeping it in play, just off the ground, gaining a little bit more territory, out of bounds, adjudicated for a throw in. 15.5-minute mark of the first term at Box Hill City Oval. Hawthorn having the best of play so far. As the umpire gets set, should say it's lovely conditions for football here on a beautiful ground. One of the best grounds that the VFLW plays on all year in perfect conditions. As Hawthorn have it out, again, just the kick's affected off the boot, dribbles forwards. Hawks gain a little bit of territory, but another throw in right underneath the Choose Tap scoreboard that's showing us 16 minutes are ticked over here in the first term.
Quarter time, half-time I should mention Essendon Williamstown. Essendon 5-4-34 lead Williamstown 1 behind. Alex Quigley with both goals in the second term for the Bombers. Hales now. Got no handball away, but the kick away comes from Livingston out towards the boundary line. Good body work by Randall. Good battle there with Lynch. Benici at ground level again. She might almost get it back where she is on the ground. She does. Players pile in on top. Umpire says, give the ball to me. We will have a ball up.
A few stats from there, Benici. She's been very busy out on that side of the ground. Yeah, sweeping the contest well.
Great addition returning to their back line in today's game. Tap down. That was from King. Ball just around the corner from our Choose Tap scoreboard. Many players fighting for the ball, Memory being one of them. Now the Hawks go inside forward 50. Looking for Hutchins at the back of the pack. Played a VFLW game 50 last round. One of, well, it's probably not her first 50 running around in women's competitions. The first 50 down for the VFL women's. Boundary throw in. Deep in the left forward pocket for the Hawks. Tap down was from Luke. Good pressure that time from Beeson, tackling inside her own forward 50. We'll have another ball up. Time ticking down towards quarter time in this round 16 clash. As Blair mentioned earlier, Collingwood to be happy with their defensive efforts during this term to hold the Hawks to 1-2-8 during the first quarter. Ball up again. Luke versus Livingston. Kick around the corner from Luke. Long to the right forward pocket. Hutchins just sees the ball over the line, and we'll have another boundary throw in the right forward pocket.
It's just stuck down there for now. A good couple of minutes of series of consecutive throw-ins underneath the scoreboard. Hawks just not quite able to gather the possession and capitalise on it. They've had it inside 50 now for 4 or 5 minutes as the ball comes back in, and they'll be hoping to score from this opportunity. Right in the perfect spot. But Lambert's got something else to say about that as she hacks one forward from the contest. Just gets in a lucky bounce, and then Benici gets on the end of it, sees it over the line. And it's a throw. No, it's gone the way. The umpire's having a little bit of a conference here. They've finally decided on a throw in, as I think, in my opinion, is a correct decision. And a throw in, 1 minute 20 left for the Hawks to score another. 60 out from their goal. The umpire gets set. And we're back underway. Oh, nice, high, long throw in. Rucks bring it down. And again, it's just a rolling sort of scrum. No clear possession at a few players' feet. Whistle gone. And it's a free kick. No, he's putting his hand up to detain the ball. And it's a ball up. Up we go again. Right on the paint here. 50 out from Hawks. Goal. Really well done to get through there. Handball out was no good though, and Collingwood get just a quick panic kickoff. You heard the call, not 15. Wheeling around now and a snap going up towards Can. Did well, gave it to a runner on hands. Now another runner gets it, just gets set upon, eventually gave it out to Shevlin. Shevlin has a look, takes one bounce, she's got 30 seconds, goes inbound inside 50, but it was a kick to no one. Hawks player there on the line was Carroll. Had no contest whatsoever. Plays on from full back. It's going to probably be how the cards fall here at the remainder of the first term as Collingwood just turn it over. One more foray inside perhaps. Getting on the end of it here. Might be Zenos. Just goes inside 50. Mark taken Shevlin right before the siren at quarter time. And she nearly played on. She's called to stop. And Shevlin's going to have a shot here. 40 out. Nearly a 45-degree angle on the siren to make it a 2-point game going into the first break. And Penny Cooler-Reid and her staff will be happy with this if Shevlin is able to slot one through. Hard kick into a strong wind, fair distance, bit of an angle. Gave it a fair go.
Oh, it's got it.
She's got it here, Shevlin. So Shevlin just about squares the ledger. One straight. Collingwood, they go into quarter time, trailing the Hawks. They've had the better of it all day. 1-2-8. And that's from the Choose Tap scoreboard in the first quarter here from Box Hill City Oval in the clash between Collingwood and the Hawks.
Yeah, you'd have to be, if you were Patrick Hill, you'd have to be disappointed giving up that last goal. I quite enjoyed, I was watching the piece of play unfold and Steph Carroll racing back to clog up the hole down in defensive 50 for the Hawks, and as you saw, she was able to get the ball as it was kicked inside by Shevlin actually, and then that kick from Carroll going to the outer side, it just wasn't enough to clear further for the Magpies because it came straight back in. Shevlin, lucky she didn't play on because she went to play on.
And she could have nearly been called too. She took that little small step. Yeah.
So ended up okay. And the Magpies, well, after the quarter time siren, get their first major. They are 1 goal straight 6, trailing Hawthorn 1-8. Goal kickers to quarter time. Sarah Perkins has kicked the major for Hawthorn. And as we saw, Maddie Shevlin kicking the major for Collingwood. We're going to take a break here at Box Hill City Oval. Other games are just about to start around the ground, so we'll bring you those scores as they begin. I'm sure that the Collingwood supporters are keeping a firm interest and firm watch on the Southern Saints versus Richmond clash, as are probably Melbourne Uni and Geelong in regards to Hawthorn's result today. But as we said, Essendon 5-4-34 lead Williamstown in the other clash that's live at the moment, just the one behind. We're going to take a break. After the break, we'll be back with a big second term of round 16 Swiss Wellness VFL Women's action right here on VFL.com.au.
Nature's an amazing place. It's a perfect balance to thriving with life. Some of which we don't even see. Like the billions of microorganisms that help keep nature in balance. At Swiss, the quest continues.
At Totally Workwear, we kit out the brickies, the chippies, the foremen, the tradies. Did we say foremen? They're not all men. Some are ladies. Work in an office, retail, healthcare, hospitality. Here's where you'll find all your workwear. Yeah, totally. Totally Workwear have got you covered with the best brands, best value, and best service. Totally Workwear. Get what you want and get back to work.
For club interviews and all the news from the Hard Yakka, Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Sam Hargraves. Tuesday nights from 9 p.m. on 11:16 SEN.
It's your job. You'll be fine.
Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand that betting and sport don't have to go together.
The ads don't always tell you the risks, yeah?
Before you have the talk, check lovethegame.vic.gov.au. Authorised by VRGF Melbourne.
Don't miss a moment of the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Find SEN2 on your digital radio today for live coverage of the match of the round. The Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL, live on SEN2 DAB+.
I'm a digital radio. To help explain why it's time to update your old radio, with me is my friend Digital TV. Hi. There you go.
Remember when us TVs were digital?
Everyone does. Get to the point.
Suddenly, you got lots more channels for free.
Yes.
Well, it's the same with digital radio.
When you buy a digital radio, you can get all your favourite stations, plus up to 30 extra ones, playing all kinds of music, live sport and talk.
That's pretty great.
It's really great.
All you have to do is head into your nearest retailer
or check out digitalradioplus.com.au
and upgrade to digital.
Your Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Club needs you to show your support. Buying a VFL Club membership helps support your local team and provides great discounts and match access. The VFL gives you the chance to get in the coaches' huddle and enjoy kick-to-kick on the field, whilst kids under 15 get in free. Get involved in the VFL this season. Head to vfl.com.au/membership to find out what membership offers are available at your club in 2019.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
Stuart Appleby has come from 7 strokes
and you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
Welcome back to Box Hill City Oval. And the Hawks, the last to break up from the quarter-time huddles. And you would think Paddy Hill just having a few words to his side about those late minutes of the term.
Yeah, as we were saying in the first term, there's a good breeze kicking down to the White Horse Road end where Hawthorn kicked in the opening term. I give it probably a 3-goal breeze, having been out in the middle, and Hawthorn go to that first break leading by only 2 points. So if you give the breeze a 3-goal handicap, you'd almost say in some ways Hawthorn are almost behind in that sense, because you're giving the handicap to Collingwood to kick 3 goals this term. It might not prove that way, but we'll see. As I say, Patrick Hill certainly won't be happy that they gave up a goal against the flow of play and the breeze and all of that in the last seconds of the game after the siren. But we're back underway here in the second term, and we'll see how the cards fall as Collingwood go for their first foray inside 50. A hand pass was no good off the deck. Ensuing little kick came out from bunker, just hacked it forward and picked off a Hawthorn defender deep in the pocket. She sets up underneath the scoreboard, kicks long up to half back. Reading the play best, though, was Buchan. And she's got the mark, 50 out, slight angle. It's too far to score, you'd think. Just pops it up, lets the wind do its job, pushed under the ball, maybe he's calling it on the lead. Lynch had a few hands on it, got it down, though, couldn't complete the mark. Hawthorn able to mop up. Bonici's there, though. The kick came out to half back for Hawthorn. They just get a possession. Now they're doing the Bonici tackle. It's a good one. And the Hawks lose a bit of flow. Brought down the umpire. Unofficiating umpire pointing. Looking like he would have made a free kick call there, but not going that way. Play gets up again. Nothing happening and another ball up. So we're stuck in a little corner of the area of the ground here where the wind is really having a bit to say about where the ball's going to go. And a free kick paid here, going the way of Collingwood off the ball. So they load up. 80 metres out, outer side wing. Looking for another inside 50 and a chance at goal. They kick up long, pushing under. There was Shevlin, but really well done Pereira for the Hawks to gain possession. Couldn't get a clean kick out, though. Brought down in some strong tackling. And another ball up. Inside Collingwood forward 50 in the pocket.
So the Hawks leading by 2 points, but as we mentioned, Collingwood with the breeze during this second term. Watton with the tap down. Magpies trying to keep the ball back in play. They go out to Leighton. Gets a kick inside forward 50. The Hawks under the footy. And they take a strong defensive mark. Looked at the possibility of going across goal. They elect not to. Play on the call from the umpire. Leighton. So kick to kick between the Talls, and Leighton now sets up the play for the Magpies. Plays on, gets it onto Livingston. Livingston unloads. Wobbly kick inside forward 50. Lambert in the forward pockets, unable to keep it in play and just goes over the line.
And that's at least the third, maybe fourth or fifth now chance that Collingwood's just bombed a kick inside 50. It's a chaos ball, mongrel punt that no one can mark. We saw Hawthorn do it a few times in the first term, but Collingwood are doing it pretty poorly for now. I'm sure Penny Cooler-Reid's not happy with that. It's the use inside 50, almost impossible to score from.
Well, off the ground, has it gone through? Great kick off the ground by Caitlin Lee, and it kicks her first of the game and the second on the board for the Magpies. And more importantly, it's given the Magpies the lead. They now lead in this clash. 2 goals straight, 12, leading Hawthorn 1-8 on the Tuesday scoreboard. Opportunistic goal by the Magpies.
That's right, opportunistic again. One of those hacked kicks inside 50. Lee just did really well to rove the contest. Kicked it off the ground. It managed to sort of go forward enough. She had the goal sense to kick it in the right direction. The bounce favoured her. You take 1 or 2 goals like that a game, but you're not going to kick 6 and 8 like that and win the game. So it worked for them this time, but I'm sure Collingwood are trying to hit some players on the lead and really get a clear kick at goal. Let's back up we go. Shani Leighton does well. Wins a tap down. Just put it into space. Running on the end of it was Bunker. She bombs it again inside 50. Ball bounces. Now it's on the ground. Shevlin's got it. Looking for Lambert around the side. Can't get the handball out. But it does come out just. A quick kick away. Bounces in for a behind. That one off the boot of Dargan. And Collingwood get another minor. 2-1-13. Just getting ahead of Hawks, 1-8, 4.5 minutes gone here in the second quarter of Box Hill City Oval.
Doherty and Sibley just getting to know each other there at half forward for the Pies. In trouble again, the Hawks trying to extract that ball. Good work by Kelly. Bevan over the football, gets her handball away. Watton handballs away, but her teammate under plenty of pressure. Shevlin, who's been busy in this clash. Bounce doesn't suit the Hawks' defence, but they work well. Now comes into the hands of Beeson. Leading possession winner this season for the Hawks. Goes up towards half forward. Slipping over at the important stage was Porter. Now coming back towards Buchan. The Hawks inside their forward 50 for the first time this term, but it's all Magpies around the football. Getting the ball is Ferguson. Over the top, got her teammate in Lowry. Now great run from defensive 50. Hales up along the broadcast side wing. A kick long. The Hawks back into attack once more. McClelland, the Eastern Rangers player.
Very well done by Ferguson in that last passage of play. Just had a little bit of composure, got around her player, used it well, didn't panic in defence.
So Watton versus Leighton. Oh, Leighton just grabbing it out of the ruck. Gets her kick away. Finds her target as well. Shevlin's been on fire during this second term. Kicked the goal after the siren to end the first quarter.
It's a really nice kick to space there too.
And players just slipping in that centre area. Lagoya now gets her kick away finally. Is it held on to? It is. The Magpies inside forward 50. Now a chance. They handball backwards to Lee. Can she get a second goal on the board? Gives it off. Guess who's there again? Shevlin, who had the ball at the half-back line. And now a chance to line up for her second goal of the day.
She kicked her first in the first term, just on the siren. In a similar fashion, the ball sort of went against play and she just found herself in space. Collingwood rebounded, kick popped up, and there was Shevlin to mark it. Again, she's done really well to find some pretty good real estate inside 50 on her own. The ball pops up and she's there to take a chest mark.
Now, it won't be the best angle to see it on our video stream, the breeze, but she starts it direct at goal and it's travelled the full distance. Shevlin I should say, has her second goal. And the Magpies on fire in this second term, certainly using the breeze. They move on to 3-1-19. Leading Hawthorn 1-2-8. Great start to the second quarter.
Textbook goal as well. The wind just pushing a little bit across goal to the right side. She's just beautifully weighted it, kicked at the left goal post, ball sailed through. Textbook goal there from Shevlin, and she's been among Collingwood's best early on as we go 7.5 minutes and they lead 3-1-19 over the Hawks 1-2-8, who are stagnant after their first term flow of play that saw them leading. Almost go to the lead at quarter time. Back up we go. Leighton in the long sleeves. Just beats Watton that time. Brought down by the Hawks. They spin around, kick going the way of Watton. Just hacks it forward over Benici, who she had the hide on. But Collingwood do well at half back. Handball again now to Benici. Her resulting handball, though, wasn't great. Now McWilliams has got it. Gave it away to a runner who just loads up from 50. Puts it on the top of the square. It's bounced. It bounces the most unfortunate way you could think of for the Hawks. And Hutchins, she does well there to get hands on it at the top of the square and bring about a ball up. Did really well not to turn it over there. Hutchins just stemmed the flow because Collingwood could have been out. And what an unlucky kick. And Flanagan, she put in the right spot, didn't get the bounce she wanted. Now we're back underway on the ground here, inside 50 for the Hawks. They want one. They get it off the deck. A quick hacked kick just across the face of goal, and another behind for the Hawks. 1-3-9 now, trailing Collingwood 3-1-19, approaching the 9-minute mark of the second term.
Yeah, unlucky for Claire O'Donnell on that occasion. We should mention, we've talked a lot about the finals, but the other live battle going on, and quite timely that Jamie Lambert's taken the mark. She's currently leading the Rowena Young goal kicking tally for the season. She hasn't scored a goal yet as Shevlin again. Burst of speed. She's been best on ground during this second quarter. Kicks inside forward 50. Redan under plenty of pressure. Good work by Dargan, and that ball held up in the forward pocket. But as we mentioned, Jamie Lambert currently leading the goal kicking for the VFL women's competition.
She's got 20 for the year. Head of Taylor Stahl at Richmond's got 17, and Caitlin Greiser at the Southern Saints has 16. So both of them pretty prolific goal scorers, and that's another little live battle we can keep an eye on throughout the day.
Well, we will, and we'll keep you up to date. The Southern Saints versus Richmond game has now begun. No score in that clash as well. Darebin versus the Western Bulldogs, that game also underway, and no score in either of those two clashes. So we'll keep you up to date with live scores around the VFLW. Essendon running away with their game. 8-4-52 lead Williamstown, just the one behind from the pocket. And another score on the board for the Magpies in this second term. They move on to 3-2-20, leading Hawthorn 1-3-9. That, of course, on the Choose Tap scoreboard.
So the Hawks have an opportunity here from fullback to create the play they'd like. The inner side wing, where the grandstand is packed of players. That's the thin side, and that's where the play goes. Perkins was running around underneath it, circling. No mark taken, but a free kick goes the way of the Hawks for an infringement in the marking contest. So they have it at half back. They go up the wing looking for McWilliams, flying across. So intercept mark taken by Bliss, who plays on, goes around to Lambert. Lambert goes up to Benici, got it over her head, forgot how much wind she had behind her. Lee nearly ran onto it in a foot race against Luke, which the boundary line won in a ball up underneath the Social Club at Box Hill. That's the last touch rule going the way of the Hawks there, actually, as the Hawks get a reprieve off half back. They go again up for McWilliams, and yet again, a marking contest infringement goes against the Pies. The Hawks get another free kick. Back of the wing position. They go up. Benici flew well in the marking contest. Outsized, but stood up well in the grab. Didn't take the mark, but got the free kick anyway. Or it might have been a mark paid. Regardless, kick going the way of Benici. Centre wing. Grandstand side. Just loads up along the boundary line. Kick came a little bit off the side of the boot, but it ended up being all right. Flew in was Lambert. A little bit of pushing and shove going on between Lambert and Carroll. Another Collingwood player getting involved there as well, just throwing her weight around.
Madison Shaw making sure the possession was earned as well. There's a boundary throw in. Leighton versus Watton. Been a good duel between those two players. Leading in the race back is Dillon. She's tackled strongly by the Collingwood defence. Ball held up. We'll have another ball up just 40 metres out from the Magpies' goal. So 2-2 this term. Better use of the breeze by the Magpies to just the one behind for the Hawks this quarter. Anthony Stangetts and Blair Morton with you today here on VFL.com.au and SEN2. Free kick goes the way of the Magpies. Don't want to give away a 50-metre penalty because you've got Lambert and she's keen to get some goals on the board.
She wants her 21st to just keep her nose in front of that Rowena Young medal.
As we've seen from the kicks from this pocket, well within scoring distance, just due to the breeze going right into that gap behind the goals next to the pavilion. As Lambert lines up, beautiful kick off the boot. It's just landed short in the goal square. The Hawks keep the ball in play. Bevan now attacked by Lambert, gets a handball away. Pepper Randall gets the kick away, and the Hawks working the ball well as the ball's gone over the line.
Oh, she's lucky there. Carroll thought it was a mark, but it wasn't paid and set upon. Retreated over the boundary line.
So boundary throw in there in the forward pocket, and 13 minutes gone. Currently an 11-point lead the way of the Magpies.
Coming out of the contest, there was Bunker, just hacked it forward. Kick wasn't to any advantage. Doherty's doing some good tackling, but Hawks players on the ground with possession. Free kick gone, high contact made against one of those Hawks players on the ground. She's going to go back for a free kick. A little bit slow to get up. Doesn't look injured or anything like that. Gives a wheeling hand pass around to Shaw. Shaw goes off half back up the wing looking for Perkins, but marking in front of her nearly was Carroll. Brought it to ground. Bodies over the ball. Umpire having a little bit of time for things to get out naturally, but didn't occur. So he calls the ball up. Underneath what is a pretty healthy crowd here at Box Hill for, of course, what will eventually be a double header going into the VFL men's clash right after this. But right now it's a great crowd here for the round 16 VFLW. And Collingwood getting a free kick there in front of the Hawks faithful, going the way of King. So King, 75 out from home, goes up along the line, just put it into space out in front of Lambert. Couldn't get there in time, out of bounds, and a throw in the pocket.
Good news for the Collingwood supporters if we're looking at a VFLW live ladder with Richmond holding a 1-point lead over the Southern Saints. So on the live ladder as it stands at the moment, Magpies on top and Southern Saints in second. But long way to go.
And I dare say that'll be a game with a big wind affection as well at Trevor Barker Oval.
Correct. We'll keep you up to date with those scores as the ball hits the behind post out of bounds on the full. And we will see a free kick going the way of the Hawks. Dangerous one here now for the Hawks to try and extract that, especially kicking against this breeze. We've seen the strength of it. And they elect to try and go in short. They do, but chopped off. Good work by Nash. Nash from the forward pocket. Saw a kick similar distance out from Jamie Lambert just a few moments ago. Will she have learnt from that? she does. She kicks in short, but sends it back out of bounds on the full. And will continue to have the kick between the two teams from the back pocket.
And no shortage of opportunities to score by Collingwood. They've sprayed a fair few on the full or out of bounds. Definitely around 5 or 6 times that a shot of goal has gone out of bounds. So 3-2 on the scoreboard, but many more scoring shots in that tally. They're unable to capitalise inside 50. As we say, Hawks again from that spot we've been in for a little while now, go up the flank. Benici, though, busts through the pack, gives it away. Quick kick by Casey up to the top of the square. Mark to Lambert. Top of the square, directly in front. Pencil this one in, and it'll be 21 to Lambert in the Rowena Young medal chase. But more importantly here for the result of today, it'll get Collingwood a little bit further in front.
There probably is, as we said earlier on the call, a 3-goal breeze to that end of the ground.
So Lambert for Collingwood's 4th, her first of the day, directly in front, no mistake. Goal umpire doesn't move, and Collingwood now 4-2-26, getting out in front of the Hawks, 1-3-9, 16 and a half gone, approaching half-time.
Yeah, great response from Collingwood. Obviously, Hawthorn kicking the first goal of the game, and Collingwood have replied with the next 4. Goal after the siren to end the first term. And they've kicked 3 goals with the breeze during this second quarter. So if they're holding Hawthorn to a low score as well, it's certainly going to be a percentage booster for them as well. But we mentioned the fair bit of difference between the sides' percentage at the top of the ladder. They need to make up 18%. As play starts again, Benici gets the clearing kick. She's been great today and great inclusion back into the lineup. One-on-one contest, Redan gets the better of Doherty on that occasion. Still in the danger area for the Hawks, but a better clearing kick this time. And they find Beeson, averaging 23 disposals a game this season. Kicks in short, tries to find Dylan, one of their other accumulator teammates in this Hawks lineup. Benici gets the kick away. Bouncing football, heads towards the boundary line. And it will be a free kick going the way of the Hawks.
And Carroll just behind play there, a little bit slow to get up. That's for Hawthorn. She was walking towards the bench, but stayed on, so doesn't look injured, but definitely a little bit ginger. Running around now pretty freely, but we'll keep an eye on that as Hawthorn are really pushed up against it. Up along the boundary, wind pushing right against them. They go for a kick up the line. Did well, McWilliams through the contest. Dispossessed, not holding the ball. Collingwood didn't want the handball, was Dargan. She got out of the way. Now a big tackle laid as Hawthorn regained possession. And a ball up centre wing, grandstand side. Minute and a half left here, Box Hill City Oval. As the Rucks go at it. Brought down. No clear possession again as the ball rolls out. Perkins has it. Throws it on the right boot. It was off the side of that boot, and it put it into real chaos. Collingwood get there first, and have a look at this from Shevlin. Puts the afterburners on, gets away from her chaser, and puts it to Lambert, who takes a chest mark. Went to play on, gets her hands up to say, I'm stopping. Plays on, tries to sell some candy, but Pereira didn't buy it. She lays a tackle, dispossessed. Hawks do really well in defence, and now turn it over again. Free kick goes away the Hawks. Lambert wanted that goal, knew she didn't have the distance, had to get around Pereira, but she was a wall, Pereira. Did not give Lambert an inch, and Hawks get another reprieve as they go to the outer side wing.
Ball still kept in play off hands and goes over the line. Umpire calls for a boundary throw in around the grounds. Essendon, what a finale to their season, 9-8-62. They lead Williamstown just the one behind. Darebin, 2 goals ahead of the Western Bulldogs, which on that game moved to Latrobe today, and still a 1-point buffer. One behind apiece between the Southern Saints and Richmond. What happens if we do have a draw come into that equation? That'll make things interesting. A draw won't help the Saints if the Magpies are victorious. So they've got the 17% advantage over the Magpies, but need a win to hold on to that top spot. And Collingwood are doing all they can to ensure they're still in the race for a home final and top spot on this Swiss Wellness VFL Women's ladder with a dominant second term. They lead 4-26 to Hawthorn 1-3-9. During that term, 3 goals, 2 by the Magpies to the 1 behind to the Hawks. Goal kickers for Collingwood, 2 to Maddie Shevlin and 1 each to Jamie Lambert, taking her lead in the Rowena Young medal to 21 goals for the season. Caitlin Lee with the other goal for the Magpies. For Hawthorn, Sarah Perkins, the first goal of the game, and just happens to be the only goal that the Hawks have kicked in this match so far, with the Magpies dominating and taking full advantage of the breeze during that second term, Blair.
Yeah, they just used it better. We called it about a 3-goal breeze, and that's exactly what they registered in that term with 3 goals, 1, but kept the play in their terms. I think Hawthorn only went inside 50 or their half of the ground really once. They did have 1 shot on goal that was sprayed, and it wasn't a real good opportunity. It was a quick kick from a contest that could have gone either way. It didn't go their way and it was behind, but really no scoreboard pressure at all by Hawthorn. And Collingwood had the run of play, managed to capitalise on a few inside 50s. Again, though, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't like they had forwards leading out, getting it lace out and going back, lining up, kicking goals. Shevlin got 1 like that, but a couple of the others were a bit more scrappy and a bit more opportunistic. Definitely 1 off the ground, from Lee was just like that. So Collingwood had better of it. They get their noses in front, knowing Hawks kick with that wind again in the third, but I think Penny Coulter-Reid still got a lot of room for improvement as she goes and talks to the girls at halftime.
Around the grounds, as we mentioned, 9-goal lead to Essendon over Williamstown. Darebin leading the Western Bulldogs by 2 goals. Schools tied between the Southern Saints and Richmond at 1 behind a piece. Here, it is a lead, Collingwood 4-2-26 to Hawthorn 1-3-9. We're going to take a break here from Box Hill City Oval. During the halftime break, we're going to hear from Penny Coulter-Reid. She chatted to the team on the VFL Hour on Tuesday night. And myself, Anthony Stangetz, was with Sam Hargraves. We're going to hear that interview with Penny Coulter-Reid now. And after that, we'll be back for a big third term of action. Can the Hawks bounce back and keep their finals hopes in their own hands? Or will they leave it to the Melbourne Uni and Geelong team if they lose to decide their fate? We will find that all out after the break. But as we said, on Tuesday night, we caught up with Collingwood coach Penny Coulter-Reid about the season so far and leading into today's game.
Welcome back to the VFL Hour. Anthony Stangetz, Sam Hargraves with you. Time for our VFLW update. All Victoria Police now recruiting. You can apply now. Collingwood had minor premier aspirations, Anthony Stangetz. On the weekend, though, Essendon dealt them a cruel blow. They do sit second with 1 round to go in the VFLW season. Their coach, Penny Coulter-Reid, absolute superstar, has been good enough to join us. Hello, Penny.
Hello, Sam. Hello, Anthony.
A very good evening to you, Penny. What happened on the weekend?
I just got beaten by a better team on the day.
They've been in some good form over up and down form, but they've really improved the Bombers over the last month. And I suppose from their start last season, winning 1 game last year and the 5 games this year.
Yeah, I think Essendon sort of came underestimated early in the season, and like every club, they get better as the season's gone on, and they've had a few girls come into form, which is fantastic for them, and hopefully next year they can link it up a gear and go one better.
Now, it was a pretty good winning streak. 11 games is not something to be scoffed at. How do you manage that in a coaching sense when you're on such a winning streak and heading towards the finals?
Oh, I think some of those wins were just by the skin of our teeth, to be honest. I mean, I can take you back to the Swinburne Oval a couple of weeks ago when after the siren. That was a bit of a tough one. But, I think it's just great learning for the group of girls that we have. And each week, we've got about 6 or 7 changes that go through the team. So it's great that we have that depth that's going through our team at the moment.
and it's been an amazing ride since that first round of the season. You took on the Southern Saints, comprehensively beaten by 35 points, and what a turnaround since then. And I know I think you were down to about 24 available players for round one, and you've now gone through 47 players over the season so far.
Yeah, it sort of helps when you've got some more cattle in the sheds there to pick from. But no, I think it's just a testament from the girls' resilience throughout the season to be able to come back from injury, and also a credit to our medical team to get these girls right. And, you know, with the AFLW girls coming back as well to make sure that we manage their loads and we're not overloading them for the AFLW season coming up.
Penny, I'm always fascinated by stories of someone who get dealt a bit of a rough deal and then turn it around into something incredibly positive and successful. And the story with you and your playing, you know, you won a heap of premierships with the St Kilda Sharks. You were then taken by Collingwood for the 2017 AFLW season, and they delisted you, but then you turned an opportunity to coach their VFLW side into something incredible, and you've just gone from strength to strength and have been an incredibly successful coach in a short amount of time. How have you seen your own sort of transition from player to coach? Did you expect to be where you are now, and how does it sit with you?
Oh, I'm not sure if it's an expectation, but I've always dreamt of, number one, coaching, and number two, coaching at Collingwood. That was sort of a dream before the AFLW became reality, and I think it's more like I just love the game. I love being involved in the game, and I've been in the game for pretty much my entire life. So if there's anything that I can do to improve AFL and now AFLW, then I want to be a part of it. And, you know, being drafted to Collingwood's fantastic, and then unfortunately being delisted them, but then for them to give me the opportunity to sort of run the VFL program, not having any experience in coaching, pretty much to go from being a teammate of a lot of the girls to them being their coach and sort of directing them. And yeah, it's been fantastic, and I've loved every moment of it, but it hasn't been easy. I'll tell you that. It's been sort of learning on the fly, and I couldn't have done it without my amazing coaching staff and all the support that Collingwood have given me.
So have you always been a little bit like Charlie Conway in Mighty Ducks, who always said that he was always going to be a better coach than a player? Was it something you always thought, or is it just how it's turned out?
I think it's just how it's turned out. I wish I could be a couple of inches taller and a couple of seconds faster. I might have been a different player, but I think just what I bring to the game is my passion and my love for the sport, and how I can connect and build rapport with players. I think that sort of allows me to be the coach that I've been able to be, and I guess the success of the program is a testament to that. And you know, regardless of any silverware, it's my job and my role in the VFL program is to get as many girls drafted. And I've been fortunate enough to play high-level football that I have an understanding of what it takes, and not just on the field, but also that mental side of the game, that I can really sort of have that in-depth conversation with the girls to really try and push them on that other side of the field rather than just on the field.
Penny, over the last 12 months, you've been part of the She Can Coach program, and it must be great to see so many fellow female coaches at VFLW level this season.
Oh, and I think it's just going to get better and better. And, you know, the exposure and the experience and development of all the young female coaches across not just the VFL but the community levels is coming through. And it's only a matter of time that, you know, the senior players of the AFLW turn to coaching just like I have. Just like Emma Grant also in our AFLW program has done a lot of coaching, and you've got Alicia Eva in New South Wales also doing a lot of coaching, so it's not going to be long until you see a lot of female coaches sort of paving the way.
Do you have any players come to you seeking advice on potentially when they should leave the game and how they can transition from player to coaching?
Not yet, but I'm sure there's a few out there that can definitely reach out to me. And, you know, I'm very open and honest in all the conversations I have with all my players and staff, and I think that's probably one of my strengths, that, you know, I'm very big on transparency and honesty, and I don't think there is ever a right time. I think the player sort of knows. And when I was playing in the VFL before I started coaching, sometimes I just think to myself, geez, I just wish the siren would go. And I think that was an indication to me that maybe my time at the peak level is up. And, you know, I'm happy. Like, I'm still playing at St Kilda Sharks, playing in the twos, and I just love love playing football, and I don't have to be at training every week, and I just sort of rock up and dust the footy boots off, put them on, and have a kick around the park. So I still get my sanity in that aspect. But yeah, I mean, there'll be a time in every player's career that they sort of know when the time to hang the boots is up.
Penny Cooler-Reid, Collingwood VFLW coach. Going to be a fascinating last round of VFLW action. You guys are still in the hunt for top spot, battling it out with the Southern Saints. They play Richmond, who are sitting fourth on the ladder. You guys play Hawthorn, last year's premiers, who still are a chance to make finals. So these two games have got so much that they decide in the context of finals. It's pretty much like we've just seen last round in the AFL, with these top four sides battling it out to try and figure out who's going to play who in that first week of the finals. It's going to be a really exciting finish to the season.
Oh no, it's just a start too, because now we're at the pointy end, and it is all about final footy, and it's a great sort of lead up and build up into our top six, and anything can happen. Anything can happen on the day. You see Western Bulldogs sort of take it right up to St Kilda, and really to Richmond last week, and really showed them how it was, and even Essendon against St Kilda a couple of weeks ago. So anything is possible, but I'm pretty lucky, and we're pretty lucky and fortunate that the top two are pretty much sealed. It's just everything underneath.
Yeah, it's just working out where you'll be playing that first week of the finals, either at Vic Park or potentially Trevor Barker Beach Oval. But looking at some of the players this year, and I know Collingwood's in the mix for the finals, but Jamie Lambert sitting on top of the goal kicking at the moment. She's 3 ahead of Stale Smith from Richmond. She's had a fantastic season with 20 goals and 23 disposals a game this year.
Yeah, Jamie, she's just an unbelievable player, and she's just gone from strength to strength. So in her first season, she won the best and fairest for the VFL, and then backed it up and won best and fairest in the AFLW, and now, is not too far away from winning 3 best and fairest in 2 seasons, basically. And, she's definitely one player that you can pretty much put her anywhere on the field. She's going to give her heart and soul for the team.
Penny, it's been absolutely fantastic chatting to you. Thanks so much for giving us some time on the VFL Hour, and good luck for the final round against the Hawks and for finals, which is just a couple of weeks away. We wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for having me.
Nature's an amazing place. It's a perfect balance to thrive in life. Sometimes we don't even see like the billions of microorganisms that help keep nature in balance. At Swiss, the quest continues.
At Totally Workwear, we kit out the brickies, the chippies, the foremen, the tradies. Could we say foremen? They're not all men. Some are ladies. Work in an office, retail, healthcare, hospitality. Here's where you'll find all your workwear. Yeah, totally. Totally Workwear have got you covered with the best brands, best value, and best service. Totally Workwear. Get what you want and get back to work.
For club interviews and all the news from the Hard Yakka, Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Sam Hargraves. Tuesday nights from 9 p.m. on 1116 SEN.
Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
Welcome back to Box Hill City Oval. Round 16 of Swiss Wellness VFL Women's action. Final round action, and plenty on the line for teams today. Anthony Stangus and Blair Morton with you this afternoon. I'm looking around the ground scores. Well, the other match for top spot, Southern Saints versus Richmond. It's a soccer score at the moment, 2 behinds to 1 behind, but most importantly, the Saints have the lead. So they've got that top spot, despite Collingwood leading by 17 points at our game. But we are just about to start. Umpire hadn't even lifted the ball aloft, and we did have a siren. But underway, Blair, take us away for the second half of this clash.
Leighton doing the tap work there over Watton, winning this time. Handball came out for Collingwood. Couldn't find a player off the ground. One brought down behind the ball there. We'll get another look at that. Handballing up's Doherty. She gave it away to the runner in Buchan. Kicks to the outer side wing. just propped up in front of Lee. She did pretty well to get hands on it. Wheels around, does really well to keep it. Now goes inside 50, out on the lead mark, taken. Taken here by Nash. And Nash is going to line up for a shot at goal. Kick from 40 out, directly in front. Angle, no worry. It's the distance into this wind. If you're just tuning in, strong wind blowing the other way down to the city end, or the White Horse Road end. So Nash is going to have to kick into a pretty stiff breeze. Be a good kick from here. He's given a good roost. A clever kick. Low and flat into that wind. Shevlin stood up in it. Couldn't take the mark. Now the ball's on the ground. Hawks defense pretty happy to just get on top of the ball and stop it moving. And it's a ball up top of the square. Right deep in Pies attacking territories. Up they go again. Brought down. Strong tackle. Scrummer bodies. Not much happening from it. Nearly getting her kick out with Randall. Not quite. Another restart.
Now that last kick to goal, Rebecca Grant just falling short. The hair over the 6 and 5 for us here in the commentary box. I should say also the camera on the other side of the ground to where our commentary box is today here at Box Hill City Oval. As the Hawks through Nixon try to get the ball away. They go long on the outer side right in front of our camera position. And the mark taken that time by Buchan. She'll set up the play again for the Magpies. Coming off a 3-goal second term. Setting up this lead, Lagoya. Now, will she handball off? Buchan giving her the option. Gets it to her now. They might go over the top again. No, they don't. They go inside forward 50. At the fall of the ball. Good work by the Hawks. Comes into the hands of Dylan. Dispossessed. 35 metres out from the Magpies' goal. Heading to the eastern freeway into the ground during this third term. A win keeps him in the race for home final as the Magpies go goalward. Lambert lost it after it bounced. And off. The Callahan runs into the open goal. And great start to the second half of this game by the Magpies. Michaela Can adding the fifth goal of this clash. They move on to 5-2-32 to the Hawks. 1-3-9. That, of course, on the Choose Tap scoreboard. Great work in the one-on-one contest by Lambert, but just opening up the door for a teammate in Can.
Yeah, you knew Cam was coming there because she, maybe not, but did really well to take her opponent, I believe was Randall, out of the contest. Randall was doing so well, keeping Lambert away from the goals and keeping the ball in front of her on goal side, and defended really, really well, but just didn't get the support with Can came flying through, unmarked, ran into an open goal and kicked the easiest goal you'll ever kick in league footy, a metre out in the goal square unopposed. Couldn't believe her luck. And Collingwood get one against the flow of play and against the wind, which I'm sure they'll be happy with. Is from the centre, we go to Collingwood's half-back line where a mark was dropped by Nash. And now Hawks go inside. Nothing was good though. Able to just grab the ball off the deck as a Collingwood defender and kick out long to this inner side wing into a foot race. Got there first with the Hawks, but a good tackle away. Collingwood spilling out through Shevlin. Retreats a little bit of ground. Now going to get it back. Shevlin goes long up the line, caressing the boundary. Pretty good kick out in front of Grant. Pushes her player over the line in Radden, who was pretty happy to see the ball over there as she was tucked right up against it with not much to kick to. And it's a throw in.
After a goalless first quarter, the goals are coming quickly at Trevor Barker Beach Oval. 1-3-9 Southern Saints, Richmond 1-1-7. So Leighton got the ball down, now gets to tackle her opponent in Watton. And we'll have another ball up.
Leighton couldn't believe her luck there. The ball sort of fell in her chest and she was so surprised she couldn't use it quick enough.
Gets the punch away, up towards forward 50 again. Oh, Shevlin, nice hands off, finds Bunker. The team of the week last week, grab. Great work by the Magpies. Kick went astray from Grant. Now an open opportunity for Lee. Across the goal. Caitlin Lee has her second. I'll wait for confirmation from the goal umpire. And she's put it through. Gets the dance moves out there with Katie Lynch. And another goal on the board. The sixth for the Magpies. They move on to 6-2-38, leading the Hawks 1-3-9. And, well, we talked about percentage. We might need to start getting out the calculators because that's 17-18% in a low-scoring game at Southern Saints and Richmond. They might still be able to get the win and get their percentage up as well there.
Yeah, Collingwood racing away with this. As we've said, that wind is a game-affecting wind. It's not just a little breeze. It really is affecting the fall of the ball, and it's a great advantage to kick to the White Horse Road end. And Collingwood have managed two easy ones against, or rather I should say two early ones against that stiff breeze. So those two goals are probably worth nearly 4. As the Hawks have it now, going inside 50, went up to the full forward position. Mark not taken. Yes, it was. The umpire adjudicated it late, but he did call the mark at full forward to the Hawks, and lining up for a first goal of the day is Hutchins. She'll kick from 30 out, maybe 35 as she marks her ground. Very slight angle, kicking with the wind at her back. You think this should be a goal to keep the Hawks in touch. Only their second of the day here. Hutchins yet to trouble the scorers. She begins her run in. It's a good drop punt off the boot. It's a lovely kick. The goal umpire doesn't move. Hutchins gets her first. The Hawks second. First of the term and kicks him in touch. 2-3-15. Trailing Collingwood, who are off to a racing start here in the second half. 6-2-38. Travelled 7 minutes in the third term. That scoreboard brought to you by Choose Tap.
Well, breaks a 6-goal run by the Magpies. Hawks got the first of the game, and then Collingwood have been on a 6-goal run. So, breaking that run of goals for the Magpies. And Meg Hutchins is just the type of player that you want standing up when the tide's turned and make sure it's turned back your way. The Hawks getting a much-needed goal with the breeze, or what's left of the breeze during this third term. Conceded 3 goals at that end of the ground through the second quarter. Umpire just almost slipping over in the middle of the ground, just a bit slippery in that centre circle. See another ball up. Leighton versus Luke on this occasion. Go around the grounds very shortly. Minch going in hard for the Magpies. Using the ball well, the Magpies towards their forward 50. Xenos goes inside forward 50. Good mark taken in defensive 50 by Sibley. So Sibley for the Hawks. Looks to take it back along that wing on the Middleborough Road side of the ground. And right in front of our camera position, Leighton met heavily. No one able to extract the ball from that outer side. We'll see a ball up, and 8.5 minutes gone during the third term, and 6-2-38 Collingwood. Hawthorn 2-3-15. I'll give you an update very shortly on some around the ground scores. As Luke goes wide to the outer side, and it will be a free kick going the way of the Magpies.
So a little bit after a really quick early start, Collingwood flying and then Hawks getting a goal. There's a little bit of life sucked out of the contest here. Some tied legs, some rotations being made, and the ball's pushed up against the Middleborough Road wing of the ground, and the kick there from Collingwood, no good. It was a little bit big over the head. Hawks defender flew in, nearly took the intercept mark, but couldn't complete it. And a ball up right underneath the camera position if you're watching the live stream at home, and outer side wing, Middleborough Road side.
Good news for those Magpie supporters watching as well, with Richmond taking the lead 2-1-13 to the Southern Saints 1-3-9. Monique Conti giving the Tigers the lead in that clash.
Collingwood free kick here from the stoppage. Outer wing, right in the middle. They play on. Just a long kick up the ground. Didn't quite get over the back. Can was out there at the fall of the ball if it did. Now it's come up to Doherty. She swings around for a handball. Gave it to a player under the pump who was tackled. Ball spilled free. Off the deck, Dillon for the Hawks. Same again. Contest. Ball not moving, and another ball up.
Around the grounds, Essendon 11-11-77 to Williamstown, 1 behind. That's early in the final term. Western Bulldogs hitting back, 3-5-23 to Darebin, 3-1-19. As we mentioned, Richmond 2-1-13 to the Southern Saints, 1-3-9. The final game of the afternoon, Geelong versus Carlton, starting at 1:45.
Foray again inside 50 here for Collingwood. Kick went out in front of Grant, who's been good in this third term. Just got the ball by the boundary. So Rucks go at it. Leighton double punches it forward. Now it spills out. Doherty's there. Got it off the ground. Made a good tackle though. Lost it. Now she's got it on the ground. Might have dragged it in. Umpire having a good look. Doesn't pay it. She's up off the ground. Well done there from Doherty. But really strong tackle laid by Sibley to keep her honest. Ball spills free from the ruck. Hawks nearly have it. Clean possession there at. Got it through Dillon. Her quick kick off the ground now to McDonald. Couldn't get it away cleanly. Collingwood now back at it. Off the ground. Gathered well was Lynch, but she's tackled into the ground. Yet another ball up. 55 out from Collingwood home on the grandstand side flank. Up we go again. Leighton goes at it. Brings it down very well. Put it to the fall of the ground on her player. Just couldn't get it forward. Lynch, McCann lining up. Double teaming for a good tackle. That tackle laid on Dillon. Dillon's slow to get up now. Benici's got it for Collingwood at half forward. Wheels around, kick. Good strong mark taken by Grant. Collingwood line up for another through the outlet of Grant. 30 metres out, slight angle.
Good news for Magpies supporters as well. It's also seems to be good news for them at the moment, with neither Greiser or Stahl having kicked a goal so far for the Southern Saints or Richmond.
Here goes Grant for the first of the day. It's not a great looking kick off the boot. Lambert's there. She just puts it in line. She does. Nearly. Umpire had a perfect field but calls it out of bounds. She tried to Wayne Harms herself out and spin around. Wasn't allowed though. And it's a ball in. Deep in Collingwood attacking territory. The rucks get set. We go. Got Benici really having to do the ruck work here. And a free kick paid. Recalled. As it didn't quite find its place. A little bit of confusion going on here. I don't know if the ruck's nominated quite right. And it is Benici nominating for the ruck, which does seem strange. Not the tallest player on the field, not the tallest player near this stoppage by any stretch, but it's her that goes up against the opposing pinch hitter in Luke. And they haven't got their hands to it. Now the ball spills free on the ground. Out through Xenos. She tries to go forward, set upon, dispossess, holding the ball, free kick, and the Hawks round off half-back.
So to the outer side goes Beeson, right in front of our Canberra position. Hutchins leading in the race for the footy, up against Ferguson. Great work by Hutchins. Just got rid of it in time. Kicks long and deep inside forward 50. Opens up the foot race. Flanagan and Perkins, but good work by the Magpies. And Bliss leading in the race. They clear the ball, do they, the Magpies? Ball just kept in play, picking it up as Buchan. Danger for the Magpies. They need to settle. They go across goal now. And cross goal and out of bounds. I know one behind. So much needed score on the board for the Hawks. 2-4-16. They trail the Magpies 6-38. And we have gone nearly 14 minutes in this third term.
Yeah, Hawks desperately needing another goal with the advantage of a win that might have softened, but is still favouring that side of the ground as Lee nearly took it at half back but dropped what she had. And the disputed ball about to be thrown up.
Update from the Southern Saints. Goal for goal. Taylor Stahl has kicked her first of the day. Richmond 3-1-19, Southern Saints 2-3-15.
Casey did really well there to stand up through the tackle, got away, but the quick kick forward, nearly out of bounds on the full, but went the way of a free kick to the Hawks. Anyway, as Lee comes back with the flight at half back for Collingwood, brought it to ground. Gathering was Dargan. They go across half back in a dangerous position. The kick nearly intercept marked, but Shevlin was there for Collingwood to do the mopping up in defence. She puts it out in front of a runner in Benici and also Nash. Benici gets it back. Handball back in, it was Grant. Benici now gets a tackle. Just got the handball out in time. Pereira, though, for the Hawks, turns it over. Gives a little one inbound to Kelly. Kelly goes up, whistle gone, downfield free kick. And it's play on, is it advantage paid? Going to the Hawks. Bit of confusion here. Umpire's not quite calling it, but we're back underway. They go inside 50 as a Hawthorn player is down. The recipient of that downfield free kick still yet to get up. She's moving now. Here's Kelly, who's up. And it's a ball up after all of that. Hawks 50 out on the flank.
So can we make most of this opportunity? Perkins in the ruck. She can almost kick it from that distance as we saw earlier in the game, kicking her first of the match. Beeson didn't have any options, so they're going backwards to go forwards. McDonald to Randall, back to Membry. Good defensive effort, it was taken too high. So the Hawks rewarded head over the football. Beeson will get the free kick.
And Kelly off getting some attention on the sidelines to sort of upper body area. Doesn't look too bad, though. I do expect her to be back on soon.
Pepper Randall heading to the bench at the same time. Over the outstretched arms of Perkins. Flanagan now goes goalwards. Can it sit up for McWilliams? No, it doesn't, over the line. But another behind on the board for the Hawks. 2-5-17. They trail the Magpies. 6-2-38. 16 and a half minutes gone in this third term. Box Hill City Oval. Anthony Stangetts and Blair Morton with you on VFL.com.au and SEN2.
Collingwood elects for a small kick into their defensive pocket, which now has them a little bit up against it. They then turn it over, go across the other side for a switch, and that switch kick had a lot of mustard on it, a little bit too much for any of the Collingwood players. Out of bounds, and a Hawthorn free kick, so they can reload back inside 50. Little kick over, wasn't great. Going the way of Bevan. She did well enough to bring it to ground. Now a snap goes to the top of the square for the Hawks. Brought to ground and rushed. Another behind for Hawthorn, who are getting some scoring opportunities, having a good crack at it. 2-6-18, still trailing Collingwood though, 6-2-38. 17 minutes and a half nearly gone here in the third quarter as we approach the last break at Box Hill City Oval.
Almost that mirror image of Collingwood's dominance inside forward 50, but just not getting the score on the board in the early stages of that second term. Time ticking away with the breeze for the Hawks. They'll go back inside their forward 50 now. Bouncing football. Flanagan leading in the race. Can she kick a superb one for the pocket? No. Centres the ball. Perfect pinpoint accuracy and finds Sarah Perkins. And, well, I didn't think she'd have too much difficulties from that distance. This one will be a given directly in front. And a much-needed late goal, the second of the term for the Hawks. Sarah Perkins kicking her second goal of the game. And Hawthorn now moving on to 3-6-24, trailing Collingwood 6-2-38. That, of course, on the Choose Tap scoreboard, and great vision by Flanagan finding the safe hands of Perkins.
Good safe hands. Obviously 50 metres paid by the umpire. We're not sure why. Nothing visible. There was no push or any contact from what we could see. So you're starting to assume it might have been something that was said by a Collingwood player, which you'd be disappointed by if it's true, because it made a likely shot on goal a guarantee and really closes the margin to a manageable distance at 14 points and keeps the Hawks right in it. After all their work early, the Pies, they'll be dirty to give one up so easily.
A quick look at the live ladder, and it is half-time at the game between the Southern Saints and Richmond. Good news for Magpie supporters. Richmond 3-1-19, Southern Saints 2-3-15.
There's not much happening in the centre of the ground here. Ball went up and back down again. And a restart right in the middle of the centre circle. So we haven't gained any territory either way. Benici had her head over it. Wrapped up in a good tackle though. Brought to ground, another restart in the same spot. So ball is just troubling to find its way out. And it was Beeson who got that good tackle on Benici, her opposing number 8. This time brought down well by King. Collingwood clear from the centre looking for Can. She lost a foot race to Pereira, who eventually overran it though. Hawthorn do reset a little bit with a kick up the wing. Cut off intercept mark through, it might be Doherty. Out on the wing it is. She kicks further wide up the wing. And then that kick goes up to half forward for the Pies. Brought down in the contest though, and coming up with the goods is Membry for the Hawks. She tucks it under the arm, has it bounce, goes overboard to Dillon. Dillon kicks it long up the line to no one in particular, just looking for space. And there you can hear the siren at three-quarter time. and it was a good quarter for both sides, who both kicked a couple of goals, but Collingwood probably happiest with theirs against the flow of play in that win. We go in Hawks 3-6-24 over Collingwood 6-2-38. Collingwood 2 straight for the term, while the Hawks have kicked 2 goals 3, so they win the quarter, but only by 3 points as we go over oranges and reset for the last quarter.
Yeah, this game far from over. We've seen Collingwood obviously getting those 2 goals to the Eastern Freeway end of the ground. So it is possible the Breeze having dropped a bit probably from that early stages of the first and second term. So this game still within reach of the Hawks, but at the moment it is Collingwood in the box seat and currently on the live ladder. They are sitting in top spot with the 4 points at three-quarter time in this game, with Richmond leading the Southern Saints at half-time, and full-time in the game between Essendon and Williamstown. And Brendan Major will be pretty happy with his charges. 11-12-78 Essendon. They have defeated Williamstown 1 behind. So 6 wins for the season for Essendon. Probably one of the form teams outside of the top 6 towards the second half of the season after a slow start. But we'll keep you up to date with all the scores around the grounds. Just a reminder, after this game, we'll be broadcasting Box Hill Hawks versus Collingwood. Round 21, final round action in the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Our video stream audience is watching the three-quarter time highlights. For our SEN2 audience, we're going to take a quick break and then be back for a big final term between the Hawks and Magpies right here on SEN2 and VFL.com.au.
At Totally Workwear, we kit out the brickies, the chippies, the foremen, the tradies. Did we say foremen? They're not all men, some are ladies. Work in an office, retail, healthcare, hospitality. Here's where you'll find all your workwear. Yeah, totally. Totally Workwear have got you covered with the best brands, best value and best service. Totally Workwear. Get what you want and get back to work.
Nature's an amazing place. It's a perfect balancing act to thrive in with life. Some of which we don't even see. The billions of microorganisms that help keep nature in balance. At Swiss, the quest continues.
Your Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Club needs you to show your support. Buying the VFL Club membership helps support your local team and provides great discounts and match access. The VFL gives you the chance to get in the coaches' huddle and enjoy kick-to-kick on the field, whilst kids under 15 get in free. Get involved in the VFL this season. Head to vfl.com.au/membership to find out what membership offers are available at your club in 2019.
I'm a digital radio. And I'm a digital TV. Now, you may remember when TV went digital. Yes, and you got a lot more channels and a better picture.
Buying a digital radio is the same.
Exactly. I've got up to 30 extra radio stations, plus all your old faves, and I sound amazing.
Yeah, but I look amazing.
Yeah, but this is a radio ad, so no one can see you. So if you want to hear this station like you have never heard it before,
buy a digital radio.
Head into your nearest retailer and upgrade to digital.
For club interviews and all the news from the Hard Yakka, Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Sam Hargraves. Tuesday nights from 9 p.m. on 1116 SEN.
It's your job. You'll be fine.
Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand that betting and sport don't have to go together.
The ads don't always tell you the risks, yeah?
Before you have the talk, check lovethegame.vic.gov.au. Authorised by VRGF Melbourne.
Don't miss a moment of the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Find SEN2 on your digital radio today for live coverage of the match of the round. The Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL, live on SEN2 DAB+.
Love your sports? Then you'll love SEN.
looks to be the last game of the first set. Almagro leading 5-3.
And you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
Welcome back to Box Hill City Oval. Good crowd here today. Double header between the Hawks and Magpies. Hawthorn and Collingwood starting off our day. Home final potentially for the Magpies with a victory. Hawthorn wanting to win to keep their finals hopes in their own hands. If the equations are simple, Hawthorn wins, they're in the finals. Hawthorn loses. It's dependent on results from Melbourne Uni and Geelong over the next day. So final quarter underway. What will unfold? Blair Morton, take us away.
McDonald had it, gave it backwards to go forwards to a runner. Hawthorn are out going forward on the inner side wing. McWilliams is there looking for a handball from the stoppage. Just got it out, and they go out to McDonald. She gets a quick kick away forward, looking for Perkins. Got out in front of her, though. Now the ball's back on the deck. Lambert swings one around, goes up, only back to McDonald. Downfield free kick, though, one on Lambert by Perkins off the ball after she got rid of it. Too late.
Yeah, Luke just giving that one away down in the forward 50 this final term.
It's Xenos who's the beneficiary of that free kick. She goes long up the line, looking for Leighton. Took a strong mark. Oh, took it, you'd think. Watton punched it out of her hands afterwards. Not paid. Now off the ground's Can. She lobs up, looked for a torpedo. It came off all right on the boot. It was a bit of a mongrel. Lynch got there on the bounce. Did well to gather it. Set upon in a double tackle. And it's a ball up. So Collingwood gain good amount of territory from that Lambert free kick. And they're looking for an inside 50. Coming off the ground here is a Collingwood player as well, who's looks sore on her right leg, and it's Buchan, Collingwood captain for today, who's running off gingerly. Is moving though, so we'll see how she goes when she's off. As the Hawks are back away through the middle here, over the ball, Bevan takes a bounce, sets, gets up, looking inside 50. Perkins read it well, shimmied in the air and took a great mark. Wheels around, it's too far to score, plays on, looks for McWilliams, ended up being behind the ball, had a good punch in front of Livingston, brought it to ground again. Again, there is Bevan. She lobs it up to the top of the square, McWilliams, but Livingston winning this battle. Strong mark in the goal square, and Livingston sets from the last line of defence.
Yeah, good strong mark. Under pressure early, the Collingwood defence, but standing up. They go out wide. Could mean a push in the back. It was, the umpire said. So going against Randall on that occasion. At halfback for the Magpies. Settling things down once again. They're just moving it slowly across that out the Middleborough Road side of the ground. Lambert now. Good news for her. She's still got the lead in the Rowena Young goal-kicking medal tally. They come out towards Luke. The interception. Gets onto it quickly. Long. Oh, good vision. Got onto it quickly. Great work by Livingston, the defensive punch away. Now opens it up for Bliss. Under pressure. Besieged by Hawks. Umpire comes in, says, give the ball to me. We will have a ball up.
Pretty poor kick from the Collingwood defence to turn that over. She plucked the player right in between the two she was kicking to in Luke. Went down her throat and she had all of it. It was some really good defence by Livingston to avoid McWilliams taking the mark. And now a snap here from the Hawks in the pocket. Just goes across the face and they register another minor. But that was a really quick attack on the ball from the contest. Not sure who the kicker was. It was a lovely snap with the angle of the goal and nearly threaded the needle. Just evaded her though as Collingwood now off full back. They kick long up the line, looking for Shani Leighton. She comes from behind, did well to keep it in play. Over the ball now, we got Bunker. She gave it up. Hawks go out through Watton, kick affected. Now Bunker again from Collingwood gets a handball out. They're looking and they nearly had one player spare. They just couldn't get the handball out into space. Now just dropping the mark who should have taken was Luke. Just gets a kick away on the top of Perkins. Oh. And what a mark by Perkins. Fell down with it in front of Bliss to end up taking a chest mark that a big strong body of Perkins just had the strength on her player in Bliss. Marks 30 out directly in front. Slight angle. She's now being dragged on by the umpire, but this should be a goal and it will slot the margin, if it is one, to only 7 points and keep the Hawks right in this game. Kicking into what was a stiff breeze, it now might have dissipated a little bit. Here comes Perkins for a third of the day. It's a lovely kick. Post high goal, and the Hawks aren't done yet. 4.5 minutes into the last term here, and it's come down to a 7-point ball game through Perkins with a lovely goal, her third of the day. And all of a sudden, Collingwood, who looked like they might have marched into the finals pretty easily, now have their top 2 spot in jeopardy if they don't kick another couple of goals here at Box Hill this afternoon.
Well, back-to-back goals for Perkins. She's kicked 3 today, and she's been putting on a marking clinic up inside forward 50, positioning and getting the better of her defensive opponent. And they've stacked the forward line. Perkins, Hutchins, McWilliams, all down in forward 50 now for the Horse. Game on here in our video stream clash. Kick goes forward from Shevlin inside forward 50. Looking for Lambert. Lambert, oh, great tackle from Pereira. Goes nowhere. And we'll have a ball up directly in front of the Magpies' goal. 6:2:38 plays 4:7:31. Magpies with the lead. Everything riding. A quick kick out of the pack, touched. And through for 1 behind. Handy behind. Any scores are handy at this stage. 6:3:39 the Magpies. Hawthorn 4:7:31. Plenty on the line as we mentioned. The Hawks win. Guaranteed a final spot and a chance to defend their premiership from last year. They lose. They're dependent on results over the next day between Melbourne Uni and NT Thunder and Geelong versus Carlton, which kicks off at 1:45 today. Winners already today. Essendon has defeated Williamstown by 77 points as Jamie Lambert is rewarded with a free and a chance to try and, concrete her goal-kicking lead for the season. Right behind it on our camera angle for our video stream watchers. Goal, not quite goal 22 for the season, goes through for another behind. So 6-4-40, the Magpies. Hawthorn 4:7:31. That lead back out to 9 points in favour of the Magpies. 7 minutes gone, final term.
Hawks off full back. They're electing to play on. Nearly runs herself into some trouble there, the Hawks full back. They eventually get the kick away, and under the pressure they set for themselves, they cough it up to Lee at half forward on the paint, 50 out. She goes back, lobs one up to the top of the square, brought down, handball's out. It's going to be a goal. The whistle's gone, though, as a play on. What's happened? Bit of confusion, but it is a goal going the way of Grant, who ran into an open goal, and Collingwood, off what was a pretty costly turnover, get their noses further in front, make it a 16-point ball game.
Well, video stream watchers will be able to see the replay of that one. And costly on that occasion for the Hawks. It went through the hands. It could have almost been a free kick, and I think it was going to be a free kick going the way of the Magpies. So for taken too high in the marking contest, so the umpire just calling play on. So that's where some of the confusion was. The umpire had the one arm up because he was going to call the free kick, and in the end, it is a goal to the Magpies. And Flanagan now, a chance to put the Hawks back into attack. They trail by 15 points at the back of the pack. Oh, Hutchins didn't kick it, taken too high. No, her opponent's taken too high.
For a fend-off, I think. She gave a bit of a don't argue, struck Collingwood defender high.
So, lucky on that occasion for the Magpies. But the Hawks, good work, the intercept.
And she might get 50 here. There's a few asked for it, and I reckon it's there.
So Claire O'Donnell will get a bit of an indication of the breeze. We're sitting right behind it in our commentary box. The camera, of course, on the other side of the ground. McWilliams in the front spot, can't bring it down. Good tackling pressure from Flanagan again. Ball over the line. And we'll have a boundary throw in the left forward pocket. 15 points the margin. Nearing the halfway mark of the final term.
Free kick gone here.
Free kick has been found.
Going the way again of O'Donnell, who's going to have another go at the same shot from moments ago.
So rather than pass off, she's going for goal this time. McWilliams just giving the lead to the side. What can O'Donnell do? Just hooked it at the last moment, off to the left-hand side and through for one behind. So 14 points the margin. 4-8-32, plays Collingwood 7-4-46. O'Donnell just with the one goal this season from her 12 games so far. And now an important kick in for the Magpies as they hold on to that 14-point lead halfway through the final term in the last game of the season, of the home and away season for both these teams.
And a massive kick from full back, only gets as far as Sibley, who took a chest mark. Now goes up to half forward. Benici, though, flew in for the Magpies. Didn't complete an intercept mark, but did well enough to put it in dispute. Now the ball gets hacked forward for Collingwood. Can got the handball up, looking for Leighton. Leighton then brought down in a tackle by Pereira. Sorry, that was King, not Leighton. And a ball up in the centre of the ground. Collingwood coughed it up, but then with some really good Benici efforts, managed to get themselves a reprieve. And here we go again. Collingwood out to Casey. She snaps one forward to half forward, looking for Nash. It's come up to Lynch. Lynch wheels around, gave it out in front of Lambert, but she was behind her player who got there first. Lambert then lays a really good tackle. It goes out to Grant. Grant spills free in a tackle. Now the ball again just hacked around. It's going to fall over the boundary line underneath the scoreboard. And Collingwood get it deep in their attacking forward 50 in the pocket for a throw in. 11 minutes gone here in the last quarter.
No change of scores at Southern Saints versus Richmond. So still the Tigers with a 4-point lead in this game. What a final round of Swiss Wellness VFL women's action.
Up we go. All spills out. It's just in hot dispute here. No clean possession. Just scrum of bodies over the ball. And it's a ball up on Collingwood's half-forward flank. 50 out. Middleborough Road side of the ground.
Second half underway between Western Bulldogs and Darebin. Western Bulldogs with a 2-point lead early in the third term in that clash. As we mentioned, Essendon has defeated Williamstown by 77 points earlier today. And the Tigers still with that 4-point lead over the Southern Saints. Jamie Lambert still with her 3-goal lead in the Rowena Young goal-kicking award. Of course, the goal-kicking award will be presented at the VFL Best and Fairest night on September 9 at Crown, with all the award winners for the season, the best and fairest in the competitions as well. The Hawks, what can they do? Twirling around is Sibley. Out towards the pavilion side of the ground. Here's a chance. Bevan gets around her opponents. Kick over the top. They've got the options. Perkins ran past it. Good work by the Magpies. Lagoya long up towards Leighton territory. What can happen here? Bouncing football. She'll look to dish off. Taken too high. Play on the call from the umpire. He does. Round the corner. Lynch centering kick. Wasn't really to the advantage of the Magpies in the end. Luke. Good work from the Hawks. Clearing kick to the outer side. Randall leads in the race for the football. Oh, taken down in a tackle. And the tackler will be rewarded. Great work from the Magpies. And good tackle from Nash. And Nash, well, she would have looked at some of the kicks earlier today. Too far out to score, but she's going to go long. Chips it into the pocket. Ball heads over the boundary line, and we will have a boundary throw-in. So 7-4-46, Collingwood, Hawthorn, 4-8-32. Time ticking away for the Hawks to guarantee their finals position. And Collingwood doing all they can to host a qualifying final next weekend at Victoria Park. So the top team on the ladder will host a final, either be at Vic Park if Collingwood gets top spot, or Wilson Storage, Trevor Barker Beach Oval, should Southern Saints come back against the Tigers today and claim top spot in the final 2 rounds of the season. Again, Luke versus Leighton in the ruck. Forward 50, Bevan gets the kick away. Sibley now, they go out wide. Beeson, not too many ones to kick to. It's a wide open spaces on this pavilion side of the ground. Oh, great tackle in the end. That was Zenos, who will be rewarded. And held up the play. We're 14 and a half minutes, final term, 14 points the margin. Kick goes forward from Hales. Crunching the pack that time was Luke. Inside forward 50, and there will be a free kick. And it will go the way of the Hawks at their defensive 50 and need to move it quickly because they trail by 14 points. And we're 15, just ticking over to 15 minutes gone, final term.
A little bit more time sucked out of the scoreboard there as the Hawks player ran on but hadn't properly gone back behind her mark. And Buchan just sucks a bit more time out by running the ball back. And that kick now is a rubbish kick turned over to Buchan, who takes a mark. That's for Collingwood, who are now 60 out, going to go back inside 50. And with 15 and a half minutes gone, you wonder if time will outdo the Hawks, and a goal here certainly will as they go to the top of the square. Brought down. Hawks doing well in defence. They clear with a long kick up the wing, but again, it might just be turned over. No, nearly a good mark by Membry. Brought it to ground, did enough. Gave it to Perkins. Now McDonald. She's set upon, though. The handball turned over to Livingston. Kicked forward. Easy mark taken with no one in opposition to Doherty, who's 60 out. On the flank, underneath the Social Club. Kick off the side of the boot. She might have meant it, actually. It's a lovely kick. Finds a player in the pocket who might just be a little bit too far out to score in Lynch, but is lining up for what looks enough like a shot.
No stranger to a celebration, so beware if she gets the goal. She's looking around for their photographer in Shane Barry.
She'll kick from all of 50 on the boundary line, underneath the Social Club. Left footer, so elects for a drop punt because the angle favours that foot. It's a good kick just to the top of the square. Hasn't scored. Now the ball's on the ground in dispute. A lot of players over it. Collingwood will win a ball up in front of goal. So did well there, Lynch. Pretty clever. They know they're in front by enough, so took her time getting the kick away, sucked half a minute out of the game, put it up for a contest, and now Leighton brings it out of the ruck. But the Hawks clear. They kick forward. The mark taken here out in front of Livingston. It might even be McWilliams all the way back there. She goes up to Perkins, who just had it spoiled from behind. Kept it in front, though, but Hales was too good. Just saw Perkins over the line, and it's a free kick to Collingwood. That's an unlucky one there. Perkins adjudicated to have taken it over deliberately, I can only imagine, or perhaps it's the last touch.
Just throwing the football away and giving a bit to her opponent. So the ball goes inside forward 50. Collingwood would just be happy to hold up the ball inside their forward 50. 2.5 minutes left in this clash. And it's going to need a big effort from the Hawks to claim the 3 goals that they need. So Magpies putting themselves in the box seat now for top spot on the ladder. They'll be keeping an eye on the VFL app for the live scores between the Southern Saints and Richmond. That's still currently a 3-point ball game, a 2-point ball game. Score's just changing as we speak. In fact, Southern Saints have hit the front in that clash. 3-5-23 to Richmond, 3-1-19. And Caitlin Greiser keeping herself in the race for the leading goal kicker this season.
As the Hawks go with a very courageous switch kick here, back inside their defensive 50 that they nearly turned over. Lucky enough, though, to get out to the wing. This is via O'Donnell. O'Donnell goes forward, put it out in front of her player, but it was spoiled from behind. Might be McDonald, tackled from behind by Laurie. Now the ball spills free. It's in dispute over on the outside wing. And brought to ground, ball up.
Well, I would say that is time.
Absolutely.
On Hawthorn keeping their finals hopes in their own hands. They will rely now on the results between Geelong and Carlton later today. Melbourne Uni versus NT Thunder. Coming down to the final game of the season. What a cliffhanger it will be, especially for those Hawk supporters. After winning the premiership last year, Can they regain a chance in the last day of the season to hold their spot inside the top 6? We'll keep you up to date before we finish our broadcast today at 1:30. We'll keep you up to date with the around the ground scores. Darebin back within a point of the Western Bulldogs. That game in the third term as well. And as we said in our game, 14 points the margin in favour of the Magpies. They will, at the end of this game, move back to top spot on the Swiss Wellness VFL Women's ladder and then wait for the result of Southern Saints versus Richmond. Saints win, they go to top spot. Richmond wins, Collingwood book themselves a home final. Maddie Shevlin, well, she's had a great game today, and the Magpies bouncing back from their first defeat since the start of the season. They were defeated by Essendon in the last round, but victorious and have kept their home finals chances alive with a victory. 7-4-46. They have defeated Hawthorn 4-8-32. 1 goal, 2 in the final term to both teams. So the Hawks missing their chances during that final quarter. Both teams missing opportunities. But the Magpies getting the win. And I'll just get you to run through our goal kickers, Blair, and I'll quickly get us an update on how the ladder sits and any of the percentage difference from this clash for the Magpies supporters out there.
Lead goal scorer for today was Perkins for the Hawks, who kicked 3 in a losing side. The only other goal kicker for the Hawks was Hutchins, who got 1. For the victors in Collingwood, Lee kicked 2. Another double went to Shevlin, who was one of the best today. Singles went the way of Lambert, who you think probably sews up the goal kicking award with that tally, and Can also with 1 alongside Grant. Best players for the day for Hawks certainly involved Pereira in the back line. Beeson had a lot of it through the middle. Perkins, who kicked 3, and McWilliams, who presented well forward, although was never rewarded with a goal for her efforts. Over at Collingwood, there's lots of good players to name. Among them were Leighton, who rucked well all day. Benici was great at half back, provided a lot of defensive pressure and also some movement up the ground. Shevlin was excellent with her 2 goals in a standout second quarter when the game was in the balance. Also among the best were King, and Doherty I thought was really good, really trying, who came in late off the emergency list. You'd think she keeps her spot next week. And it's a good win for Collingwood, who now have been the master of their own destiny in a way. They've had the win, so they've done all they can to make sure next week's first finals played at Victoria Park. As we've said, they're going to be keeping a close eye on the results out at Trevor Barker Oval to see if the Southern Saints manage a win. If they do, they're likely to have that qualifying final at home. But given it's such a close game, percentage might come into it, although we think the Saints have enough of a margin over Collingwood for now for it to be theirs if it goes that way. But that's all mathematic ruminations. It'll come out when the cards settle. For now, what we know is at Box Hill City Oval, Collingwood had a win. 7-4-46 over a pretty good Hawks. 4-8-32 as we're starting to finish up and roll into our doubleheader into the men's game.
Well, we might bid our video stream audience farewell. Keep an eye on VFL.com.au next week for the games that we will be broadcasting. The likelihood at this stage it will be elimination finals at Adcon Stadium on Saturday and possibly Sunday next week, but definitely back for the elimination final next Saturday. So keep an eye on VFL.com.au and we'll bring you all that information. But thanks for your watching pleasure today, and we will see you next week for our video stream audience.